Sean Combs, The Reckoning? Listen, I knew all the stuff that Diddy was supposedly supposed to be a part of, but when you see it back to back within a 4-hour span, you realize that this guy is maybe not be the greatest in the world, okay?
So finally, the Netflix Diddy's documentary is out. Let's talk about it. Hey, beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So, the Netflix documentary about Diddy called Unturned, The Reckoning, produced by 50 Cent and Netflix, is finally out. Before I get into this video, if you've not watched the 4-part documentary on Netflix, go check it out so that you can come join in this conversation. This documentary has gotten people talking. A lot of people have so much to say, and a couple of days prior before the documentary was released, 50 Cent did a sit down with King, and he talked about the documentary. And a lot of people know that 50 Cent is petty as F, and people were expecting it to come from a place of being petty and being the beefy. But no, I would probably say, like, go watch the documentary. I think, like, it's one of the best documentary we have of Diddy, and the way things were being said, and the timeline, the footage, the people talking, and then people actually in those events talking. I just feel like it just takes off that shining almond that is wrapped around Diddy. I know it has already peeled off, but I feel like this just like put it to rest. That's just it. Anyway, guys, let's go check out people's reaction to this documentary, the Sean Combs documentary, The Reckoning, and then we'll come back and talk more. Let me know what you think if you've watched the documentary.
Netflix documentary about Diddy being produced by 50 Cent is coming out at midnight, and I need to know if y'all are tuning in. They even got 2 of the jurors to participate in the documentary. And they have this exclusive footage that was not supposed to be released of Diddy days before he was arrested.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business. We're losing.
Now, the streets is saying that Diddy has a cameraman that is always around recording everything he does. But on that day, his actual cameraman was not available, and they had someone else come in, which is how Netflix was able to obtain this exclusive footage. Now, his legal team is saying that they should not have been able to release the footage, but I doubt that Netflix didn't do all the clearing they needed to do prior to the footage coming out. Now, ultimately, I do think it's strange that you would have a cameraman following you around at all times, and so did the director of the documentary and 50 Cent. Here's what they said to Gayle King.
It was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
In the documentary, there's even a part where you see him talking to strangers on the street, and he immediately gets in his van and says he needs hand sanitizer, basically insinuating that he feels dirty because he touched somebody in Harlem.
I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bag. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do.
Now, in the interview with Gayle King, she asked 50 Cent if he felt like hip-hop was also on trial with Diddy. And I actually agree with what he said, though it has caused some controversy and people don't agree.
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors.
Being silent is being complicit.
100%.
Period. That's it. That's all. If you said nothing, then that's everything that needed to be said. Now, it wouldn't be 50 Cent if he didn't actually troll Diddy at the end of this interview where he said this.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm personally excited to watch. I'm excited to tune in because I feel like this is about to go crazy. Let me know what y'all think.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson officially broke the internet with that Diddy documentary, baby. And when I tell you that thing dropped at 3 a.m., it's now 7 a.m. and it's already #1 on Netflix, he wasn't playing. Baby, the documentary is called The Reckoning, but it actually should be called Reckless, because the way Diddy was out here in these streets is absolutely diabolical. Now, 50 is saying that this is about justice, but baby, the way he did this documentary is definitely giving vendetta. And when I tell y'all that 50 got receipts for days, y'all, this man got drawers, y'all. He got recordings. He got, y'all, the FBI raid, y'all, the whole timeline of the takedown. All y'all are listening to what I'm telling y'all right now. Now, let me just say this. This documentary is not all about the situation that happened with Cassie. He did a very good job with telling the whole story about Diddy regarding his entire life, from the time he was a child up into this very situation that did happen with Cassie. Y'all, when I say receipts, I'm talking about, y'all, the situation with Biggie. Y'all, the situation with Tupac. He got that man looking like a whole goddamn slime ball out here in these streets. Do you hear me? And the fact that this man got more receipts and more coverage and more footage than the FBI is what's actually mind-blowing to me. But when I tell y'all, if you have not watched it, please stop what you're doing. Don't walk, go run. When I tell y'all that 50 did this motherfucking documentary like the rent was due, the mortgage was due, baby, the light bills and the car payment too, he did his big one on this one. Great job, 50.
This Sean Combs documentary got me saying, if 50 Cent ever do anything illegal, we not reporting it over here. This Sean Combs documentary got me saying, if 50 Cent ever do anything illegal, we not reporting on this side of town. Lord, Sean Combs, The Reckoning? Listen, I knew all the stuff that Diddy was supposed to be a part of, but when you see it back to back within a 4-hour span, you realize that this guy is maybe not be the greatest in the world, okay? Might not be as innocent as he claims, and maybe this time that he got is probably for something that he got skipped on that's from his past. Listen, Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Now listen, 50 Cent helped put this together. Bro, this is the most detailed outline documentary that I have seen from the 90s to now. It talks about everything from Tupac, him being in college, how he became the BP Diddy, all of the transformations that he went to. This is super detailed, and this is well put together. I see why Diddy team is out here trying to get this stuff taken off Netflix, because when you see it like this, shit, I ain't gonna lie, I'm thinking to myself, Dad, they need to bring his ass back to court now. Now, this does bring into question, we've been trying to blame Suge Knight and all of them for this East Coast, West Coast thing, when really it was a Diddy versus Diddy situation when it came to Pac and Biggie. Y'all not ready for that conversation. Y'all have to go watch this on Netflix right now. This just dropped, okay, today. This is a 10 out of 10. Yes. Diddy, I know you having fun in jail, hugging up on all the men's, but we mad at you right now. Go and watch this, tell me what you think. I'm just a messenger.
Diddy is pissed about the new documentary that dropped about him today. And let me tell you, in the last 2 years, we have gotten a lot of documentaries about Diddy, but I've never seen him go off like this on any of the other ones. This documentary, which was produced by 50 Cent, does feel very different than all the other ones. If you love documentaries, hit follow because it posts daily and you'll never miss out on what's new. Though the other documentaries about Diddy provided a platform for survivors of Diddy to tell their stories, a lot of them had this tabloid feeling to them. This one has a lot of the same information plus a ton of new information, and it feels very grounded. Aside from that, Diddy filmed himself in 2024 prior to his trial, and the filmmakers of this documentary obtained that footage. I don't know if Diddy was planning on using that for something good, and now it's in this documentary about him, which is wild. The filmmakers of this went hard. They found a lot of archival footage, archival photos, interviewed as many people as they possibly could, and they covered a lot of ground. This is really disturbing, and a lot of the stuff talked about in this documentary is really disturbing, and it kind of makes Diddy's conviction horrific. He should have got more time. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
The lesson to be learned here is don't ever, as a grown man, offer to take Curtis 50 Cent Jackson shopping ever in your motherfucking life. Because ain't no way this man did a whole 4-part documentary series for Netflix called Sean Combs The Reckoning for the fucking. I mean, I know he said he was gonna do it, but I didn't even believe him, honestly. And y'all, this documentary is not just about the shit that happened with Cassie, no. This goes deep back into Diddy's childhood, y'all. 50 took it all the way back to from when his father was when he was a baby and his mama had him in like some chinchilla coats and shit, to when she was throwing parties in her house. That's where he got it from. All the way up into him working for Andre Harrell and him having that big basketball event because he was like this big party promoter or whatever, and 9 people were baby. Did y'all know about that? Because I didn't. They even brought up the of Biggie and Tupac. And yes, Diddy set that up based on what the documentary said. Allegedly, Diddy put $1 million on Pac's head and only paid about half of it, right? Then they had Keefe D on some on there talking about the whole thing and how it happened, literally admitting to it. Now, allegedly, Diddy also has something to do with Biggie. He did not want to come out here to LA when it was time to promote his album, and it was planned for him to come out here for a couple of days and then go to the UK, go to London or whatever to promote over there. Fucking Diddy canceled his flight the day he was supposed to leave, and that was the day I think he y'all. And I don't know how 50 got his hands on this footage of Diddy six days before he ended up in jail, but apparently Diddy hired a videographer when he came back to New York and spent that time wandering the streets. The funniest part about that was him talking about, I gotta go take a bath after he done been out touching people's hands and shit. That was hilarious. It was a good amount of people on the documentary that were being interviewed. There was Kalima, Aubrey O'Day. They have I'll Be Sure on there, y'all. So it was a lot of people on there being interviewed, and I think it's really worth the watch. One thing's for certain, two things for sure. 50 Cent is going to produce something good, as whether it's a TV show, documentary, movie. I don't. The man is going to do it. I say this though, but no other grown man asked 50 Cent to ever take him shopping. He gonna hold on to that grudge for the rest of his life and yours. So don't do it, y'all. But go watch the documentary on Netflix. It just came out. Sean Combs, The Reckoning. All right. Bye, TikTok.
So far, my biggest takeaway from this Diddy documentary is the most dangerous person you will ever meet is an insecure man. Because every single action that Diddy did that hurt somebody stemmed from his insecurity. And it is his childhood insecurity that stayed with him his whole life. And with him not dealing with that, it bred greed and jealousy within himself. He was envious of all the other people around him that he felt like he was better than. And he felt like he deserved their spot.
Yeah.
And when he eventually did earn his place in the world and people saw him for what he was as far as like having his talent, he still was envious and greedy. And it's so crazy because like when you're dealing with an insecure man that has as much greed and pride as Diddy does, nothing is ever enough for him. Diddy could have easily championed himself off of being the producer that's super forward thinking. Even though he's not musically talented, he can curate a vibe and he has a great ear for music. Diddy has one of the best ears for music. You know what I'm saying? As far as like in, not even just hip hop, but like music in general. Diddy is extremely talented in his own way, but since he's not talented in the way that he thinks is normal and other people think is like normal, he doesn't feel like it's enough. He has to take from other people. He has to take other people's spots. And that's why you see him constantly trying to steal side pieces from dudes, constantly trying to force himself onto like his artist platforms and trying to make himself the centerpiece. And this is exactly what happens whenever you live under patriarchy and you're forced into a certain role that you can't uphold. I talk about this shit all the time, bro. And the part that really drove that point home for me was whenever they were talking about how Diddy was pretty much a soft kid. You know what I'm saying? He was getting his ass kicked all the time. And his mom was beating the hell out of him. And she did it to make him a stronger man. But whenever your core basis is to be soft and you're faced with extreme violence and you shrink back into yourself as a little boy, right? And your mother's forcing traditional masculinity onto you through violence and punishment, this is the result, bro. You grow up to be an insecure man that's constantly overcompensating to force himself into being the type of man that they think that they should be instead of just being the man that they want to be. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly overcompensating because deep down, you know that you're still that scared little boy, that soft little boy. And you feel like if you let your guard down and if you let this facade of traditional masculinity slip, everybody's going to see you for what you really are.
Let me tell y'all something right now. That Diddy documentary didn't just make me emotional. It made me angry, like ancestral level angry. Because I finally realized the level of how much this man took from us. I have already been very vocal about disliking him and the things that he's done. Tupac, Biggie, women, employees, artists, our culture, our history, decades of silence and fear and cover-up, all wrapped into a man that thought he was untouchable. You think I'm angry just because of the crimes? No, I'm angry because of the ripple. You know, like Tupac, Biggie, they weren't just rappers. They were the heartbeat of a generation. They were storytellers, visionaries, men who changed the world every time they dropped a track. And if what these people are saying is true, and it lines up with Keefe D and other people's stories, his ego was bigger than anything else, and that's what took them out. Diddy didn't just rob their fans. He robbed all of us. He robbed a culture of what it could have been. And now that this documentary is like dropping witness after witness, people collaborating, the stories of Keefe D's, the details, like suddenly everybody's talking. They're not protecting him anymore. This is what justice looks like when it's been waiting too long, when the truth finally stops being scared. And what pisses me off the most is how many lives were shattered while he was out here creating a brand and building an empire and walking carpets and throwing parties and acting like the world was his goddamn playground. All that power, money, and fame built on the backs of people he hurt and silenced and intimidated and erased and misused their trust. So yes, I want justice. I want justice for Pac. I want justice for Biggie and for the women and the men that he has abused. For the people behind the scenes, for the artists who's lost their careers, for everyone whose life was twisted behind the scenes while we were all distracted by this shiny image of him. And if these charges come the way I think they will, just know Karma didn't lose his address. It was just waiting for the right documentary. And I think that part of why this documentary dropped is to cause public pressure to get justice. I'll do a better recap, but this is my instant thoughts after watching it.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought about this story down in the comment section, this documentary. Let me know, have you watched the documentary? What are your thoughts when you saw the documentary was about to drop? And what are your thoughts after you watch the documentary? And if not watched the documentary, I would say go watch it. It is a good one. So please let me know what you think down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts. I would say this is, like everybody I said in this stage, this is one of the most detailed documentary about Diddy that I have ever seen. I've seen a couple before, but this one, I just felt like this one really did it justice. And if you looked at the last creator was talking about how, looking back, if everything they're saying allegedly is true, I have to put it there just for legal issues, it's Diddy robbed an entire generation, not just because of anything, because of his ego, his insecurity, and it's been a long time coming. And for me, my personal opinion, with the way everything was laid out and everything was talked about, should not have nothing to even do with the whole East Coast, West Coast thingy, the death of Tupac and Biggie. I know Street has been saying Diddy has something to do with it, but I feel like this is the documentary just make it like the 1 + 1 was 1 + 1. If the math was mathing, why it will be Diddy allegedly. Like it was just making sense. Like okay, most likely, and to think that everything just stems up from a place of where Diddy is very, very insecure. Like this is where, like, when we come here on this channel and we talk about people go heal the trauma and all that. See, traumatized people raise traumatized people, and even more. The fact and the truth is that children see, do as much, and that's why you see how Diddy and his mom is. That relationship is not normal. And for the fact that the former co-founder of Bad Boy, it was talking about how Diddy puts his hands on his mom, like everything stems up from home, how a child is raised and everything. And that's no excuse of who Diddy is. But the truth is that Diddy has been a monster right in front of our eyes, and we're all kiki kakaing about it because we all know about the Bad Boy. Once you are signed up to Bad Boy, you get the fame, but you end up being broke. The Maze, the Total Group, and everybody. We talked about all those. We've seen those things. We saw a lot of those artists from the Bad Boy record coming to speak their truth and tell their story and how things go. But everybody was just kiki kakai about it. So you could clearly see that it's been a long time coming. Diddy has really Diddy, honestly, I feel like Diddy really feel like he was untouchable. He feels like he could get away with everything. And the way this story, I just feel like 50 Cent did an amazing job. Like, I'm not a big fan of 50, okay? That guy's petty as okay. I'm not a big fan of 50, but the way 50 Cent they organized this documentary, it was a well-watched documentary. I feel like everybody just really need to see it, especially when we're talking about Diddy. The fact that they went back, how did Diddy messed up a lot of people. Like this man messed up a lot of people. And he's not the type of man that shows up to be there for people when they need them. Mm-mm. He's not. Because the dirty money girl, one of the dirty money girl, when she said she called him a couple of weeks before that she needs his help to borrow her $5,000, and he said, "Oh, sorry, I can't help." And then weeks later, he's calling like he needs her to make a statement on his behalf. Diddy is that type of person. I feel like it feels like because out of his insecurity, he feels like everything is entitled to him and he would do anything, like it's all about him. But that also come with I'm not a doctor or anything, but I'll say like that man is a narcissist of some type, allegedly. Like, I'll give him that, because he always wants to be that face. He always wants to be like, and it not makes sense why we're always seeing him in everybody's songs, everybody's music video, jumping, dancing. He's paying himself. And I know, like, someone like some people say, "Oh, he's just being smart, a smart business person." No, he's just being greedy. Because how much money do you need? How much people do you need to hurt? How much people do you need to bring down for you to say you're successful? You are. How much? The fact that you allow a Biggie to pay for his own burial after he's dead, and talking about, oh, another one that came out was the fact that it took Biggie's spot from the Rolling Stone magazine. How diabolical that is. These are facts being said by people that actually did it too. So this is not speculation at this point. Come on. And this is why, like, when somebody feel like the entire world, like everything should just be them, all about them, life doesn't work that way. And I feel like that's why the downfall of Diddy is hitting, and is hitting really bad and hard, because he has messed up a lot of people. He has, uh, and then the fact that this man really feel like he's bigger than the program, because he's hugging, and he's such a manipulative person. Like, I can't even imagine. Diddy's such a manipulative person. Looking at through this interview of how because he knows he's going down, the case was coming, he went back to New York and started interacting with the people when he really does not want to be there, but we're just using it to manipulate people to like him. And the fact that there are some content creators that took that check to create content on Free Diddy. This might really think, and this is why, like, I feel like in life, no matter in Nigeria, they say anything that goes up, if you throw something up, it will eventually come down, right? Anything that goes up will surely come down. That's why he's doing Diddy now. That's what he's doing him. Everything is just being exposed, and I'm here for it. Like, I just feel like this reopen and put pressure in the justice system for people to get justice for everything this man has done. Everything from stealing from people, from murder, from putting his hands for essay, all of them. All of them. Anyway, guys, you guys let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comment section, the documentary. And if you've not watched the documentary, go watch it, please. And sorry for the spoiler, okay? And then another thing to his mother. Before I go, his mother was also another thing. And then the fact that if you look at his dynamic with his children, Justin, Kristen, you could see that those boys they can't even talk to their father. They can't tell their father that, "Dad, come on, this thing." No. And for me, he's literally grooming his own children to take his place, to be as diabolical as he is. Anyway, guys, share your thought. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversations. So go ahead, feel free, share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see. And that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.